everyone. I'm Shakir Ibon S. Laude from Bisad English 4th year Block A, and today I will be discussing about writing poetry, elements of poetry, persona, enigma, mood, and imagery. So for our lesson objectives, first we have define what is poetry and also the elements of poetry. Next, appreciate the importance of elements of poetry in a literary work, and construct own poem using the elements of poetry. Next, what is poetry? Poetry is a form of artistic expression that uses language to evoke emotion, paint vivid imagery, and convey complex ideas. It is a means of communicating human experiences and emotions in a way that is both powerful and evocative. Poetry literature that evokes a experience or a specific emotional response through language chosen and arranged for its meaning, sound, and rhythm. Poetry is a type of literature based on the interplay of words and rhythm. It often employs rhythm and meter, a set of rules governing a number and arrangement of syllables in each line. In poetry, words are strung together to form sound images and ideas that might be too complex or abstract to describe directly. Next, we have elements of poetry. Poetry is a rich and diverse form of literary expression that uses various elements to create meaning, evoke emotions, and convey ideas. First, we have structure and form. And under the instruction form and structure, we have line, letter A, line. This basic unit of a poem, a line, can vary in length and it's not necessary a complete sentence. Next, we have stanza, a group of lines arranged together, similar to a paragraph in prose. And next, we have letter C, rhyme scheme, a pattern of rhymes at the end of each line, typically marked by letters. For example is A, B, A, B. Next, we have letter D, meter, the rhythmic pattern of a poem, often determined by a number of syllables. And the emphasis of theme, for example, is iambic pentameter. Next, elements of poetry, we have sound devices. Under of sound devices, we have letter A, rhyme. The repetition of similar sounds often at the end of lines. For example, in a garden, bright with morning's light. A. Flowers bloom, a vivid sight. A. Next, the roses red, the violets blue. Each petal fresh with drops of dew. And next, we have letter B, which is alliteration, the repetition of consonant sound at the beginning of words. For example, seashells, seashells. And next, we have assonance. The repetition of vowel sounds within words. For example, is the light of the fire is a sight. And next element, we have theme. Theme is the underlying message, idea, or insight that the poem explores. It is the central topic or subject matter that the poet is addressing. Often reflecting on aspect of life, human nature, emotions, or the world around us. While the theme is not always explicitly stated, it is conveyed through the poem's language, imagery, tone, and structure. And number 4, we have point of view. Point of view refers to the perspective poem which the poem is narrated or the voice that is telling the story or expressing thoughts and emotion. The point of view determines how readers experience and interpret the poem, influencing their connection to the subject matter and the speaker. Next, we have number 5, enjambment. Enjambment is a poetic device where a sentence, phrase, or thought continues from one line of the poem to the next without a pause or break. This technique contrasts with end stopping, where a line ends with punctuation signaling a pause. Next, we have an example of it. From the poem entitled Lines Written in Early Spring by William Wordsworth. Next, we have number 6, persona. Persona refers to the voice or character that the poet adopts to speak in the poem. This persona is distinct identity separate from the poet themselves through which a poem is narrated. The persona can be a fictional character, an animal, or an object, or even an abstract concept, allowing the poet to explore different perspectives, emotions, and themes. And we have an example entitled My Last Duchess by Robert Browning. For our next element, we have enigma in poetry. Enigma in poetry refers to something that is mysterious, puzzling, or difficult to understand. It can be a theme, a symbol, or even the entire um, poem itself. It's designed to provoke thought, invite multiple interpretations, or challenge the reader's understanding. We have also an example of it, The Tiger by William Blake. Next, we have number 8, mode and tone. First, mood is refers to the emotional atmosphere or feeling a poem evokes in the reader. It is the overall emotion impact of the poem shaped by various elements such as language, tone, setting, imagery, and rhythm. Next, we have letter B, tone. Tone is refers to the poet's attitude or emotional stance toward the subject matter, audience, or characters. It is conveyed through the poet's choice of words, style, and the overall way the poem is crafted. Tone influence how readers perceive and interpret the poem, shaping their emotional response and understanding. Next, we have imagery, and under imagery we have 5 types of imagery. But first, let's define what is imagery. Imagery is one of the literary devices that engage the human senses, which is sight, hearing, taste, and touch. Imagery as is important as metaphor and simile, and can be written without using any figurative language at all. And there are 5 main types of imagery related to one of the human senses. First, we have visual imagery. It triggers the senses and procedures a picture in imagination. Visual imagery is one of the most useful literary devices that allows the writer to sketch or paint a picture of his choice in the reader's mind. It triggers the senses and produce a picture in imagination. For example, Prelude by T.S. Eliot. On broken blinds and chimney pots, and at the corner of the street, a lonely cab horse stream and stamps, and then the lighting of the lamps. Next, we have auditory imagery. Auditory imagery is used to uh, explain things, ideas, and action using sound. Sound that appeal to our sense of hearing. It is intended to invoke up sound images in the minds of the reader. And we have an example also, The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Next, we have olfactory imagery. It is all about the smell. Also, very few writers are use olfactory olfac, olfactory imagery in their work because it is not an easy one to master. It may include perfumes, fragrance, or different types of odor. And we have also an example, The Awakening by Kate Chapin. Next, we have gustatory imagery. allows the readers to imagine the sense of taste while reading a poem or a text. It is more functional or effectual when an author describes a taste that the reader has already experienced. An example of this is A Man vs. Pepper by Roper. Next, we have our last type of imagery. We have tactile imagery. Tactile imagery appeals to the sense of touch. It is the most vibrant and spirited form of imagery. The most vibrant and spirited form of imagery. It is the writer discusses the feel of texture, temperature, and other somatic sensations. And we have also an example of it, which is the Macbeth by William Shakespeare. Okay, this is my list of references. I hope you learned something from our discussion. Again, I am Shakira Ibon S. Laude from Bised English 4th year Block A. Thank you.